nation, which is primarily young, has clearly made the decision only that they have been stifled. I am aware that I will be taking over a nation where 1.5 babies are born every year, taking over a nation where almost half of the budget goes to servicing debts. I'm aware that I'm taking over a nation that is deeply divided, but committed and ready to unite our country, which we've already started doing. What we promise is a new Uganda which is going to reset. Our country has completely been messed and it needs to start afresh. Every institution has been captured and we intend to start again in a new Uganda where people are going to be servants, where citizens of Uganda should take over power to decide the destiny of their lives. As we stand right now, the people of Uganda don't have a vote, they don't have a voice, and they don't have power over their nation. The state has been captured completely, and we hope to liberate not just the citizens, but also those that are leading the country. Downside, I had really hoped to meet General Museveni here, so I could publicly face him and hear what more lies he has to tell us after 40 years. To hear from him straight the gains he's protecting. Is he protecting the potholes? Is he protecting the rotten hospitals? Is he protecting the broken down schools, the broken down infrastructure? Is he protecting his power and right to torture citizens? I had always wanted to hear that, not privately, but publicly from General Museveni. Anyway, it's all right that he's not here because he's in the past and we are discussing the future of our country. So I'm very glad and I hope to share ideas and to teach and learn from our colleagues. But of course, I must assert it that the people of Uganda, especially the young generation, the new generation that I largely represent, is committed to changing their country and to taking back the right to determine their destiny. I am ready and committed to lead the charge to change Uganda, so help us the Almighty God.
In the many days you have been all over this country, if you were to become president, what immediate reforms will you use to drive an overhaul in TVET and then also build real digital skills and ensure that the young person you have been meeting on this campaign trail is actually not locked out of the future?
Thank you very much. And I'm glad you mentioned that indeed we've been traveling all over the country. For me, this is more realistic than idealistic. These are not just statistics. These are realities. These are people. We've been there, and in every urban town we've reached, you've seen hundreds of young people that show up, that are desperate, they're strong, they're talented, they want to work, but these are young people that have been failed by a system. It should be noted that Uganda is ranked the most entrepreneurial country in Africa. However, the young people are being failed because 70% of the small businesses that are started do not live to complete one full year. They are failed because of high taxes. They are failed because of the cost of money, high interest rates. They are failed because of high electricity rates. They are failed because of high transportation, and this comes because of the broken down transport infrastructure. As the National Unity Platform in a new Uganda, we have a plan of establishing 10 million jobs. From here, we're going to do this by leveraging the tourism sector. As you know, Uganda is immensely gifted. We're going to leverage manufacturing sector, and most importantly, the creative industry. Now, having come from the creative industry, I know the potential of the creative industry. Uganda is equally as talented as Nigeria, or even more talented. But looking at the Nigeria's creative industry, it is almost outcompeting the oil industry. In fact, they call it the new oil because it is largely seen as even more engaging and more incorporating of young people, of ordinary citizens. Plan is as follows of these growing economies: China, India, Brazil, name it. So looking at these examples, we think it can be a benefit in Uganda. I'm looking at areas, especially these that are near borders, like Arua, like Chisoro, like Kabale. If they are supported, they could boost even production and they could even boost export, looking at production. Supported means cutting down, reducing the cost of doing business, reducing the power costs, reducing the cost of in transport infrastructure. This would make it easier for them, and it would boost them. Also, are going to be the ordinary citizens, and the government will work with the parents, the flour to feed the children. This way, we're going to be able to support even the small producers, the women, and the ordinary people out there. We believe that this is not only going to boost education, but it's going to help in youth unemployment. We also intend to modernize our skills development.
Your time is spent, but I'm going to allow you a minute. You have made recognition of manufacturing and tourism. These are high level in terms of strategic for any presidential candidate. Leaders have been describing it as Uganda's economic growth. However, there's one structural problem that still hinders both sectors right now, and that is unreliable power supply and high electricity costs. What's your solution?
Well, the high electricity costs can be renegotiated as government. We can go as far as renegotiating with Bujagali to ensure that the power comes down, because that is what is going to help. There's one thing, if you allow me, also talk about, that's the exploitation. The current government prides in youth employment, where mainly the industries that are owned by foreigners actually exploit the citizens to an extent that young Ugandans are paid as low as 3,500 shillings a day. Now, and we passed the minimum wage bill. Unfortunately, General Museveni refused to sign it. Now, we are going to reintroduce it in a new Uganda, and I will sign it because I will be president.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much, Mildred. I feel at loss because as a present victim of security, I did not get opportunity to be asked for a comment about security, and as a way of blocking and bridging, you would allow me just to wrap very quickly my comment on security. And it all goes back to state capture, because that is the problem. Every institution of state is captured, including the military. And unfortunately, it's the military that is being used to capture the rest of Ugandans. The question of the military was settled way back in 1995 when the current constitution was promulgated. Under Article 208 of the current constitution is to the effect that the UPDF shall be non-partisan, the UPDF shall be national in character, and the UPDF shall be subordinate to civilian authority. Unfortunately, that law is nothing more than the paper on which it's written. Now, the UPDF is reduced to a tool of oppression. It has been said before that there are no bad soldiers, there are only bad commanders. And the statement is true with the UPDF, because now you will notice that the problem begins with the appointments. The appointments are done according to relationship, and sadly, according to DNA. You have seen police officers, military officers coming out to make political statements against the law, and nothing happens. You saw Brigadier Koldo Kidi. You have seen General Museveni's son making political statements, and nothing has happened, and the list is endless. Our plan for the military, first and foremost, because they are desperate as well, they need to be paid right in order for the right thing to be demanded of them. And we've made it clear as a national unity platform that we shall ensure that our men and women in uniform, both in the UPDF and police, are well paid. And they will be demanded to respect the people of Uganda. There should be a strict code of conduct. Recruitment and promotion shall be done on merit. And also, it's very, very important for me, on behalf of the National Unity Platform, to commit that while I'm president, I will never, ever use the military or the police to play politics. Now, having made that comment, allow me very quickly to respond to the questions I heard from Mwakesa, and I appreciate your efforts and your contribution to the tourism industry. But we must understand that it all begins and ends with governance. Just go to Google and type in Uganda. Imagine you're outside Uganda and type in Uganda. You'll see what it brings to you. Will that be reason for you to tour Uganda? So it is not us to create an image or a brand of Uganda. The brand of Uganda is being messed by those that are in power, and it is upon us to remove them from power so that we can present a good brand. Uganda is one of the most beautiful countries in the world, and our tourism potential is robust, but it is being messed by those that are in power, because what matters to them is not what the country gets. The main occupation of the state in Uganda is regime survival, not serving the country, not developing the country, not developing any sector. My brother from ANT mentioned that I said, yes, I said that. I've said it many times. I'm saying it right now. I'm a rebel, but I'm a legitimate rebel. You've seen the president of the Uganda Law Society calling himself a legal rebel. I'm a legitimate rebel. I'm just like the Museveni of the 1980s, only that we are non-violent. That's the difference.
Okay,
we are within the law, we are non-violent, but we are rebels, we operate like rebels.
Allow me to just stick to what you were talking about.
Yes, please.
There's a question here from Mr. Chigongo, and he's asking, what are your plans towards bolstering multilateralism as well as bilateral relations?
Present yourselves as Ugandans. Let us present Uganda on the same moral standard with our country, with other countries. We want to relate with Kenya. Kenya has a semblance of democracy. We want to relate with democracies, but we are bringing dictatorship to them. Let us level up. Let us have the moral standard. Let us be on the same moral standard with other countries, and we are going to be respected. Now we are not respected, we are only feared.
Okay, thank you very much.
You've had retired General Muntu say he works in teams. If you were inaugurated on the day, would you be happy to work with anyone on that podium?
Yes.
Okay. My question is, given that 14 to 17 Ugandans still pay bribes, over 88% see corruption as a concern, tell me, what do you see yourself doing to change our corruption perception index, where we sit at 35? I mean, it's terrible.
Please ask the question again.
So right now, the statistics do show that 14% to 17% of Ugandans pay bribes, and 88% of those see corruption as a concern in the country. What would you do to improve Uganda's corruption perception index, which is terrible?
Thank you very much. You see, before we find a solution, it's very important for us to analyze the problem. I think it all begins and ends with leadership, and Mildred mentioned it a few moments ago, that the fish rots right from the head. It all goes back to governance. It all goes back to the political will to fight freedom. As we stand right now, the Inspector General of Government, the IGG, Mulyagonja, mentioned some time ago that the big fish in corruption are always pursued and they hide behind the president. We are in a country where the head of state is the chief priest of corruption. You have seen scandal after scandal, and all the culprits of corruption are protected by the head of state. You saw Anita Among, the current Speaker of Parliament, sanctioned internationally because of corruption, by being protected by the head of state. Just a few days ago, a person that the court actually said had a case to answer on corruption, a minister called Lugorobi, he was cleared. Meanwhile, on the same day, other people were being arrested. There was allegations around Parliament, allegations of corruption, and the leader of opposition, who happens to be in presence today, wrote to the IGG to investigate those cases, and the IGG went mute. You have seen scandal after scandal in Parliament, 40 million bribe, 50 million bribe, 100 million bribe, all in exchange for the passing of classified money to be used by General Museveni, etc., etc. We have demonstrated our stand on corruption with the little power that we have, and we indeed continue to commit to Ugandans that as president, I will lead by example. When the president fights corruption, when the president observes zero tolerance to corruption, it goes down to the ministers, goes down to the permanent secretaries, and all the way down to all government officials. Our commitment will be zero tolerance to corruption. We've demonstrated that, and we will ensure that anybody that puts their hand in public money, the hand will not come out there, but the neck will go there as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Robert Gurani.
It's at crossroads. At a time when all institutions of state are under capture, including the judiciary, a time when a judge sits to adjudicate, to decide a case, has not to look at what the law says, but consider what General Museveni wants. At a time when appointment of judges is by a person, and yet is supposed to be by the Judicial Service Commission. A time when even a justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Chisache, is in exile because she fears for her life, having disagreed with the status quo. A time when political leaders are in jail, people like Dr. Kizza Besigye for no case whatsoever, where citizens are tortured on camera by those that are supposed to protect them. A time where social media is blocked. Facebook, as we speak right now, is blocked just because one person does not like it. A time when laws are applied selectively, where some people are in prison for apparently being charged for computer misuse. And yet, as a person standing right here, I'm a victim of harassment and threats by the highest official in the military, threatening to behead me. In a time where a country is completely captured, I want you to know that a new Uganda is possible. A new Uganda can come, and it's by you and me. Ladies and gentlemen, I come to you as a typical Ugandan. I've grown up in your faces. I've grown up from the lowest of society to here where I am today. I am a symbol of resilience, a symbol of discipline. I came from the ghetto, the worst of character, but to be that I'm a happily and decently married man, well educated and all that, that speaks of my character. Ladies and gentlemen, I present myself to this generation, to unite this generation, to uplift this generation, to stop tribalism, to unite the country. And with your support, with your endorsement, I am sure we can all change Uganda. I've said it before and I say it again. I don't present myself as the most capable or the most educated or the oldest or the most experienced, but the most committed to lead this generation out of slavery. When you vote for me, when you vote for the National Unity Platform, you'll be voting to end 40 years of dictatorship. You will be voting for servant leadership. I present myself not as a boss, but as a servant. And most importantly, we as a nation will be able to march forward together. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, please remember that we have an opportunity to redefine our history, an opportunity to start over again. This opportunity is coming on the 15th of January to end the hate, to end the historical injustices, to end tribalism, and to rebuild our country. I am sure Ugandans, especially the young ones, love each other. They want to live together, but they are stuck in the past. It is our opportunity to unchain and unhinge and move forward. Therefore, I call upon all of you to vote for me. Yes, I have the highest respect for all these contenders right here, but I'm the best choice. The people of Uganda have shown it to you. It is only a pretender that will not agree that the person elected to be president of Uganda in 2021 was Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert. The people of Uganda have consistently shown it to you, from the north to the south, from the east to the west. None of the candidates can win me in an election, even in their own backyard. Therefore, I might fail to convince them to join the winning team. But you, the people of Uganda, have always taken a lead. You have led us. Please lead us. Let us liberate our country, and forever we shall end this slavery. I thank you for God and my country.
All right.